The magic thumbs
The
arrived.
magic thumbs. How's everybody doing? It is Thursday. Primetime guitar. Third hour. We just got done watching Matt and Chris over at Texas Toast Guitars. I was sufficiently entertained while I was getting ready for our live stream this evening. Yeah. So, what's the thumbnail again? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was looking at, well, there's a couple of questions that came in through Patreon tonight, because a lot of people will ask questions on Patreon. YouTube members will ask questions, and then we'll put those up on the screen. We do that, and then you can also use Super Chats to ask questions, and you can also just take your chances with some question marks. And Leslie will try to...
Take your chances.
Yeah.
We usually get you.
We usually get you. And Leslie will try to get to those. But there were a few questions over the last few days, actually, about marketing stuff. Because some things that were in the news yesterday. So I should tell you this because I didn't tell you this. And for those of you that have not seen our news... Fender, you know, Fender does the Paisley tellies where it like relics off and then there's like Paisley underneath. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they're doing a thing with Chicago Music Exchange.
Which I just told you I wanted to go to.
Yeah, we want to go there when that's in the plan for later this year. That's this month. Oh my gosh, that's this month. Okay. So anyway.
Happy September, y'all.
Yeah. So they have a model now that it's got really thin nitrocellulose over the top. Mm-hmm. But there's no Paisley showing, but it's underneath there. So it's up to you to wear it off. Which I think is kind of dumb because you're not going to have the guitar for 70 years. So you're literally going to have to like sand some off to see it, I think. But anyway, a couple of people were asking about some gimmicky stuff. And I was like, because I feel like that's kind of gimmicky. So what I want you to do right now is get in the comments if you have questions or wonder about terms. Oh, that was the other thing. We talked about guitar tone words. Like
you talked about it again?
On Tuesday in the live stream.
I need you to tag me in all of these things because we still have to make a shirt.
We want to make a shirt about it. Okay. So, and everybody was like, what about this word? What about this word? And we went through all these various things.
Yeah.
But I want to focus on marketing fluff about pickups because that is the thing that I learn about the most. And we're going to talk about that in a couple of the questions tonight because I did look ahead. I don't usually, but I was also trying something where the thumbnail actually matched some of the questions that came in. So that's like something I'm trying to do.
That was your question.
Yeah. So that you made the thumbnail. So anyway, get in the comment or in the chat over there. And if you have questions about, hey, is this a marketing thing or is this an actual fact about pickup stuff? Get in there and we'll see if we can answer them. And if I don't know, I will say I don't know and I will find out. But it will be a kind of a fun conversation. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. A couple other things. If you are able to go to Colorado in 3 weeks to the workshop that we're doing out there to build a guitar and wind pickups, I hope that you can come. And for those of you that have signed up, I'm stoked because I'm going to see you. We are actually driving out there. We're taking the van and we're going. And we're packing our thing and going. And yeah, so...
Do you know that movie reference?
Yeah, do you know that movie? So right here in this box, I don't have all the guitar parts.
Because you don't knock the table.
Oh yeah, because you have wine over there. So there's a bunch of parts in here, and this is enough parts to make all the pickups for the guitars that we're going to build, that you are going to make these pickups. All these parts in this box are going to become the pickups that you will build during that workshop. So there, I've been compiling everything, putting it all together. I've actually been working with Bryson, training him on making some stuff and winding some stuff, and it's also helping me to double check to make sure that I have everything together for doing another workshop. So that's really cool. So make sure you check that stuff out if you can. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into these questions, and then we will get to those because I think they will sort of work together.
Cool. All right, Rob. Hello, Dylan and Leslie. I'm about to order a pickguard for the Squire Mustang. I would like Dylan's and the wider community's thoughts on whether to go with two P90s or a neck P90 and bridge humbucker. Also, advice on what color to match with a dark blue guitar is appreciated. Should I stick with a white pickguard? Thank you.
I will let other people in the comments section answer the part about the color for the pickguard because I do not get into political conversations like that.
Like color?
Yeah, like what color should my pickguard be is probably
so
the most controversial question ever in any kind of comment section. So I'll let you guys talk about that and help Rob out. On the pickup side, my opinion is I would rather see two P90s in the guitar. Because I love P90s. I just shipped a P90 humbucker Strat pickguard yesterday. And I think in that one we did the P90 in the bridge and the humbucker in the neck, which is the way that I would do it if I was going to do one of each. Mr. Goat bought one of those. And so we just shipped that yesterday. So I think we did the P90 in the bridge and the humbucker in the neck. That's the way I would do it.
Someone's dad, first of all, I love that name, but he just said, pickguard color is so personal. Just get what you like. I guarantee I will hate your choice, whatever you choose.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh,
that's exactly what I'm saying. All right, next question. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Vincent, 1. In CME, who's that?
Chicago Music Exchange.
Okay. In CME's latest video promoting their solid color over Paisley Tellies, they said, quote, these pickups are potted in shellac instead of wax, which gives them more of a wide open frequency range. Is this true? Or are they smoking something really strong?
Have you seen the guys that work there? So we have a wax potting versus not wax potting video coming out on Monday. I have to finish shooting it tomorrow. I want you to watch that video and listen to some back-to-back testing as to wax pot versus not wax pot. What I will tell you about the shellac thing is they used to do that. Old pickups came that way. The problem is that the shellac would break down the insulation on the windings and the pickups would go. That's why old fenders go bad. It's because the corrosion on the poles, so don't use steel wool on your guitars, and the shellac on the poles, the magnets, would break down the plain enamel wire. So that's why we don't use any of that stuff. It is a way to halfway pot versus not really pot because it's harder than wax. Wax is softer.
There's the ad in the middle of your live stream again.
Oh, look at that. So there is something to that, but it is not you're not going to know. You won't ever hear it. Unless you literally back-to-back test it with two guitars, or the same guitar with two different pickups, or the same pickup doing it two different ways, you will never, ever hear the difference. And if somebody says, oh, I can totally tell, bro, I'm glad you feel good about what you hear. That's what I would say. You know, I think that's nicer than saying I think you're full of crap, because I really think you're full of crap. But this stuff is so, like Mr. Wrong pickguard guy, this stuff is so personal that if you need that feature to make your guitar yours, then by all means get it, because you'll play better. You know what I mean? Like, if you really like it. So I guess that's why I say it like that.
All right. Looks like, I was like, why is there a 1 there? So Vincent, number
yes,
2.
2, yeah.
I have a Super Strat kit build that's needing new pickups. If I wanted to go for a center punch 8 in the bridge, should I go for the hot 5s or the super 90s or a combination of both for the neck and middle? For the neck, I'm hoping to have less volume drop, and for position 2, I'd still want to get an out of phase sound.
Hot 5s, Super 8 bridge. That's what you want. That is the bomb setup for higher output. It's what we put in the silver Strat for the video a couple weeks ago, and it is so good. I'd never even done that before, and it was just stumbled on it, and it was amazing. 2 hot 5s and a Super 8 bridge. Killer setup.
Cool. And Shane, dear Dylan and Leslie, on the 5 a.m. live stream, because he's in Japan. Wait, 5 a.m. Jeez. Dylan mentioned he had a working relationship with many top wood suppliers. Paul Reed Smith in a video claimed he gets first pick of all the best toned woods. In a different video, Jeff Kiesel also claimed he gets first pick of all the prime pieces. Who do you think is lying, or are they both blowing smoke up our butts? Thoughts?
Okay, I think, in fact, I know, and I'm working on a video about this. I'm working on a where does all the wood come from? What is actual tone wood and what is a bunch of BS video? And I do have the guy that can help me with that. I haven't flushed out all the details on it yet. But when I say the guy, I mean the guy. Like when I did the lawyer video, it was the lawyer. It's the same thing with the wood guy. So if you think about what the woods that Kiesel uses and the woods that PRS uses, they're different. Mm-hmm. So where wood comes from, I could say, I have a bunch of, I don't know, peanuts, and I also have a bunch of almonds, and I could say I'm going to give you the best nuts, and I'm going to give you the best nuts, but you use almonds and you use peanuts. Mm-hmm. So you're both getting the best of what's available to you, but they come from different places. They're different species of a minimum, you know. So it's sort of a play on words. I don't think they're necessarily lying, but so it's not a dishonesty thing. I wouldn't say that. But they are getting the best of what's available to them for certain things, but it doesn't mean that I have 4 pieces of wood and PRS gets to pick the 2 best ones and you all have to deal with the other 2. It's not like that. But I have a video that is coming soon that will dive into that some more, and we'll get better into detail about that.
So no smoke.
No, not. I mean, I can see how they're using it to market, but it's not a lie. Okay.
Super chat from Thomas Torville. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "Hi everyone, you're doing a great job." So you're all doing a great job.
You're all doing a great job. Thank you so much.
It's a little encouragement for our Thursday evening. Thank you.
I'm glad everybody here is doing a great job too, because if they weren't, this would be a lot more boring. Really.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. Do we have any more questions over there? Nope. That was it.
That was it.
Okay, so there's probably been people asking about other mythy stuff, right? Have they? Or have we been just talking about it anyway?
Well, you kind of swap topics around, but yeah, I mean, we have 24 comments already.
Let's go.
I've grabbed.
Let's go.
And they will be in random order.
Okay.
Al Adolphson, just an old guy. I listened to the quote terms video as I couldn't get to the live stream. Muddy? Always confused on this term.
Me too, because it's relative, right? Like a person with bad hearing is going to think everything sounds muddy.
Oh, good point.
Because high end and definition between sounds goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I've always thought about those things.
Vinny's World, thank you for the super chat. He made it just in time to hear his questions too. So
Oh,
he was
awesome.
like, thanks. He was going to get his order together.
Thanks, Vinny.
Thanks for the super chat.
He's
Vinny.
from Hong Kong, so it's all the way on the other side of the world too.
He said, Tone super chat. This one's vintagey, bruh.
Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, that was funny.
That's awesome.
I feel like some people, do they put things in the comments just because I have to say them?
Probably. I would assume that's exactly.
I mean, what's that soccer movie I like with Amanda Bynes? That was the first time I ever heard the word bruh.
I have no idea.
Anyway, like way back in the day.
And what's the YouTuber that you like that says brew because he's from South Africa?
Oh, Dan Mace.
Dan Mace. Yeah. BRU. He says the long U.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me flip over before we miss.
Okay.
Sassy Cat says bright and punchy.
Yeah, those are just descriptive words that are super relative. Exactly.
Black Hat Music, quacky.
Yep. So they're going all on descriptive words. I was wondering if there was anything else in there that they might.
There's more. I have 21 still to go.
Oh, well, let's keep going. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Oh, related to what you were talking about, the one question. Jeffrey Egan said maybe they're huffing too much shellac.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Flip it back over. All right. Super chat from Doug Santinello. Thank you, Doug. He says, hey, Dylan and Leslie, do you know who actually makes the Golden Age pickups that StewMac sells?
That's
a question for you.
I think I do, but I don't know enough. I'm not sure enough about it to say out loud.
To say it on the live stream?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. I think I do, but I don't want to. Because some of those things, you're not supposed to know. Like, I don't want to out anybody.
You're not supposed to know.
You're not supposed to know.
It's not for you to know, Doug.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be the one to do. Like, if it comes out, I'll talk about it in the news. But that's not a story I want to break.
All right.
Until I really, really know, and I don't right now. I mean,
All right. I just have to keep grabbing questions as I can because
it's going crazy over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
It's awesome.
Cecil Music says sustain and warm are two of the most overused ones for sure.
Amen to that.
This is Cecil Music again. I'm sick of hearing it's warm or it has great sustain or it's so resonant.
All three words that to me are, those are to me are the three dumbest words in all of guitar tone, for sure. Or guitar sound. Somebody said, why do you even call it tone the other day? They were like, why don't you call it sound? Because it's sound. A tone is a particular sound. Like, bing, like, or a ringtone.
Blink, blink.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Black Hat Music says the next person that tells me, quote, sustainably shipped is getting throat punched.
Hey man, the other day, I got a bicycle pump. It's like this big around, right? And like this long in this humongous Amazon box. Huge Amazon box. Like jangling around in there. Huge Amazon box. And when you cut the box open, I didn't tell you this. When you cut the box open and you look at the bottom flap, the box says, this box was made with less material than our other boxes.
No.
Even though this thing,
box?
It was huge.
I know.
Huge box. Like 40 inches tall for like a bicycle pump. Like this big and like this big around. Yeah, no.
All right. Someone's dad said earlier, about to dive into a bowl of soup and watch the live stream to celebrate the Burr months.
Oh, right.
Because it's like officially fall or spooky season or Christmas, like already. Even if it's like 100 degrees today, just like a
It's
flip
so
comes
hot.
on September 1st.
Not for me.
So he's got his bowl of soup. I had soup today too.
I did
actually.
wear jeans and boots last night to dinner, so.
But bring it on. I like fall.
Yeah.
Fat Philosopher said, I hate sustain and resonate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I should do some videos about those, but.
Someone's dad says organic. Like, serious? What the heck? Yeah, there's carbon in the wood and even in the steel, but come on.
Organic. That's a good one.
Tone Dragon says, I find pink socks have a mid-pushed sound.
Right on. Somebody was giving me a hard time about pink stuff the other day as I pick up a pink can of water. Yeah.
Tone Dragon said, I went down the pickup rabbit hole and left more confused than when I started. So I decided I'm going to buy more locally to me from a small builder. Already found a few in Canada.
And that's the thing. That's why we do this. Like, most of these folks that make pickups like our size, we're only making a couple hundred of them a month. We're no Seymour Duncan, right? And, but we can still have time to have these conversations and make friends with almost everybody that we sell a pickup to. Like, that to me is what's important. The guy down the street from me, there isn't a guy down the street from me, but theoretically, like the guy in Canada, wherever he lives, maybe he only makes a few pickups a month. He's probably pretty good at it too. And he probably makes something that sounds pretty good too. So I forget who you said it was, but it goes and be friends with him and doesn't have to spend a bunch of money on shipping and gets something good instead of worrying about marketing words in magazines. Because, yeah. There's also the heat-treated Ernie balls, which somebody messaged me yesterday and was like, do you think they heat it up and melt the wires together? I'm like, no, because that would make the pickup not work anymore. And that's, I think, what irritates me about the marketing stuff is people, it misleads them enough to like have an actual wrong understanding of how the guitar works. And I feel bad because anyway, let's keep going.
All right. It's harder to separate at this point. Marcia Murray says airy.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Ranzer says everybody knows mint pick guards have the best tone.
If they're aged. With rusty screws.
Sean McMillan said plays like butter. Say what?
Yeah.
Fat Philosopher, if you're shredding, how much sustain do you need really?
And how much sustain do you have if your guitar plays like butter? These are questions.
I mean, if butter is a tone, why isn't it like greasy or something? Jeffrey Egan, killer tone. Define killer.
That sounds like a good Netflix series.
Define killer. Let's see if I see anything else. Just scrolling. Some of these are longer, so I'm assuming they're questions. Fat Philosopher says you have to change your channel now, though. Dylan says sound.
Dylan says sound. Well, the other thing that made me think of all this topic is working with Bryson.
Yeah.
Because I'm teaching Bryson, our son, how to wind pickups. And he like wants to know how it all works, but he doesn't play guitar. But he's real smart about, car stuff and all that. And so he's like, okay, so what you're telling me is this is like an alternator, but not. It's a, because we're talking about transducer, taking the motion energy and turning it into electricity, etc. And so he wanted to understand the theory of it, but trying to explain it to somebody that doesn't play guitar. I said this in the live stream the other day. For a guitar player, go try to explain how your guitar sounds to someone who does not play guitar and only listens to music like on the radio and on Spotify and stuff. Once you take away all these dumb words it's very difficult to do unless you really know how the thing works. It's a really weird exercise to think about.
Exercise. That sounds dumb. Plays like castor oil. Plays like butter or melted butter. Served with lobster.
Exactly.
I want that bacon greasy sound.
Cold butter doesn't really spread very well. It tears your bread all up. You have to buy the
whipped kind. Yeah.
Nobody wants to tear their bread all up.
No. No.
What's the angry faces for?
I don't know.
I could just see the angry face.
It says, this is Doug Santignano. Matt gave me an awesome case for the new guitar I was flying home with, and at the gate they forced me to check it. When I got back at the gate, it looked like they dragged it on the asphalt.
Oh, man.
That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
Someone's dad said, sorry, no comments in the last 10 minutes. Really into this bowl of soup. It's got a super airy, resonant quality. Really breathes with the nitro finish.
Oh my God. That's exactly right.
I love that it's like you're equating it to like, it's so ridiculous. Let me describe my bowl of soup with it.
Yeah.
All right. We still have 24, so we're like, not getting ahead. Vinny's World. How come so these are kind of questions and mixed in probably at this point. Vinny's World. How come for Floyd Rose guitars, the tuning goes off a few cents if the guitar is put flat? Herman Lee showed this on stream and why it's important to tune in playing position a while ago.
All guitars do that. All guitars do that. Except for McPherson carbon fiber guitars because they're super thick, super stiff. But for the most part, most guitars do that. Hashtag poop emoji.
Smiling palette poo.
Smiling palette poo, that's right. Because the guitar just flexes when you lay it down, or when you put it on, or it could go flat when you put it on a, like a neck rest. So yes, especially tuning, but especially intonation setting, do it in playing position. I think the reason why Floyd Roses do it maybe more noticeably is because maybe the necks are thinner, typically, because they have thinner necks on them. Usually, like a Wizard or, something thin and fast. And on any kind of floating tremolo, all the strings move at the same time. So a Strat, a Floyd, even a Bigsby, when you bend the guitar at all like that, this way or this way, all the strings move at the same time, which I guess all guitars would do that, but for some reason in my head, and maybe I'm making this up, but I think a tremolo would exaggerate that. I could be wrong about the physics of that, but
Keith Smith, is there any validation to a dummy coil in a P90 for hum cancellation?
There is, but it makes it sound kind of funny. I want to do a video about this. I just have not gotten to it.
Tommy Saints, opinion on Sonex 180 Deluxe pickups, aka Velvet Bricks.
I don't know what those are.
So if you have an opinion on those,
leave in the comments.
For Tommy.
Yeah, because I don't know what those are.
Mark Hot, what makes a 59? I don't know what that means. That could be in the myth section.
Yeah, that's definitely in the myth section. I mean, I don't know. Go watch a Joe Bonamassa video. My favorite.
Didn't we just watch?
We did last night, and my favorite part of that entire video was like, I don't know. It's like an old guitar. Like it's good. It's just a good old guitar. And the reason they're so expensive is because there isn't very many of them. They're not magical or anything. It's just an old guitar. And they're not all good. So, yeah.
Kevin78, hi. I am building a Telly at the moment. What do you think of putting a V-Mod Strat pickup in the neck? I have a spare set and going to give it a go.
I like Strat pickups in the neck of a Telly. In fact, our Telly pickups that we make, a lot of people say, I didn't originally design them this way, but a lot of people say that they feel like they give you a little, they lean a little stratty in the neck position, which they really like. Because it gives it more clarity.
Are you going to use a buzzword?
Well, most neck pickups on, yeah, I will. Most neck pickups in tellies sound really muddy. They sound really like just kind of dead. Um, and ours don't, but that's because, and I think everybody equates that to sounding a little more stratty. Mm-hmm.
All right. Mark Show 2. I don't know. Hey, man. What? Maybe he's asking for pickups. It says pops. Are in my 2011 Alpine LP Studio and pick between Saturday Night Special or Pearly Gates.
I'd go with Pearly Gates if I had to choose between those two. Yep.
Do you know what's in a 2011 Alpine LP Studio?
Yep, probably 490T, 500T, 490T, something like that. Ceramic, they're like a ceramic, yeah, something like that. I think maybe back then.
Jono JF, is that shellac the same as acrylic? I did shelves today in acrylic and need to mount my new P90.
No, and I wouldn't do anything to your pickups that you have. I would not dip them in anything. I wouldn't mess around with any of that. No, and it's not the same.
All right. Tim Ziegler. My question is their technology to put a chip in a guitar to find if it was stolen.
I know people are using AirTags to do that. There was a company at NAMM one year, and we actually looked at buying into it very seriously. I really wanted it to work, but then the company got kind of flaky, and I think they ended up going out of business. I wish they didn't, because they had a technology that was an RFID chip that you took one of the strap pins out and you drilled the hole a little deeper, and then you put the chip inside there, and then you put the strap pin back in, like over the top of it. And then you could find that guitar with an RFID scanner. It was not GPS, but it was pretty cool, but they went out of business. AirTags work pretty well, I think, for a lot of people. You just have to figure out how to put them in there. What I would recommend is, if you have a guitar with a pickguard, I would put the AirTag under the pickguard. Make it to where it doesn't rattle around, but put it under the pickguard. If you just throw it in the case, then it can easily be found. And then if the case gets separated from the guitar, you can't find it. But if you put the AirTag in the pickguard or in the control cavity, something like that, it'll be harder to find it. And people won't.
Someone's dad said Gibson started putting RFIDs in guitars to track them through the factory more than a decade ago. It has been posted that Gibson themselves can prove if a suspected stolen guitar is yours.
They can, because what they do is they have a RFID tag, sort of like what CDs used to have. Like when you go to Barnes & Noble and buy a CD, it's this little magnetic strip thing. And they would put them underneath the fretboards, and then they would track the guitars going through the factory. And then at a later time, they could scan this guitar, this Gibson that I have right here, and know the serial number and the birth date of it and all that stuff. And then if you had record that guitar was yours, then they could prove it was yours. I think they still can do that, which is basically what this other company was doing in a different format, but in the aftermarket.
Farmer David. Why do jazz players prefer Telecaster neck pickups to Strat neck pickups?
I don't know, because I've never really heard that. I know a lot of jazz players that use Strat pickups, so I don't know.
McDowell YL. Hey Dylan, I'd love to pull out crazy pinch harmonics for drop C metalcore covers through a Pod Go and passive hum super Strat. Pick up tone suggestions for a living room player.
So if you want a pinch harmonic, we have a humbucker called the the Super 8, that would work to do that. It would get you there. Yep. High output, strong magnet. Yep. It would get you there.
BC Rich 581 said, my preferred tone wood is unicorn horn and ENT wood. I don't know what ENT wood is.
I use unicorn horn for nuts.
A lot of nut talk today. Rusty, are your pickups renewable, recyclable, respectable in a Me Too sort of way?
Yep, they are.
Grasshopper, what originally attracted you to magnets?
That's a good question.
All right. Dan of NJ. So what alternative descriptors of sound do you suggest short of mathematical expressions of frequency and volume sine waves?
Mathematical expressions of frequency. That is the way. So if a customer calls me and says, I want a particular sound, I am looking for this, I will ask them, what are we looking for? Are we looking for lows, low mids, high mids? What are we trying to do? And really understand the math of it, understand what they're doing, and understand the rest of their gear, understand who they're playing with. Like Metalcore guy just told us what his gear was and what he was using and what his goal was. That is going to be way more. And here's the thing: if he doesn't have, I'm not saying he probably does because he knows what he wants to do. If he doesn't have the skills to get pinch harmonics on demand, he won't get them with anything. But my guess is that he probably does because he knows exactly. He had a list. He knew exactly what he was going for. And then I'm like, okay, I know what pickup we can put you in to do that. I know what we can wind to do that. And to be very specific about sonic goals and not like feelings and hopes and prayers, then we can make it happen. And most of the time when somebody calls me and says, hey, or they don't call me, nobody calls me because I don't pick up the phone. But when somebody emails me and gives me a list of things, that usually what I do when I email them back is like, okay, I want to know what your amp, what your pedal chain looks like, what kind of music are you playing at home? Are you playing out live? If you're playing in a band, do you have a bass player? Are you the rhythm player? Are you the lead player? So we can understand, and I stole this from John Bollinger a long time ago, but he always talks about the sonic space that you reside in on stage in relation to your other the other musicians. Each person needs to reside in a certain sonic space, i.e. a slot of the graphic equalizer. So where are you on the graphic equalizer and what is your goal? Then we will place you there. Like that's way more helpful and way easier to understand, and it's an actual attainable goal to hit because they're quantifiable things. If you just say, I want a warmer pickup, well, I mean, I'll send you something and they'll be like, well, that wasn't warm enough. Like, I mean, turn your thermostat up? Like, that's harder to do. That's a great question because how to talk about this stuff is important to get what you want. Yeah, thank you for asking that. I appreciate that.
George Davis, can you make a hot stack bridge pickup for a Telecaster?
No, because we don't do stacked pickups and we do not do hum canceling singles at all. I don't like them.
DMAC, good evening. I have a RevStar element and pickups seem noisy on high gain, loud volume in bridge and the neck positions, 1 and 3, but get quieter in position 2 middle. Think this is wiring grounding?
I think that is what they're supposed to do. So they're probably hum canceling each other in the middle position, and they are not hum canceling in the other positions. And if they're humbuckers, just your whole gain structure of how everything's set up is probably pretty noisy, and it will always be a little quieter in the middle anyway. not saying it should do that. I'm just saying it sounds like that's what's expected with what you just said.
Hugh Schick. Hey, I sent an email to the site. Didn't hear back. Have some info for you. Sounds cryptic.
Hugh Schick, I got your email. I have not replied to you because it is cryptic, and I want to ask you some stuff, but I want to be thoughtful about what I ask you.
Cool. Okay. Top secret.
Yep.
I think I would pronounce this Spicy Boy. Spiesseeboi.
Stole my name.
Spicy Boy. Perfect topic for me. I was looking at 65 style Jaguar pickups.
Ooh.
So he wants you to bust through the myths. What would you suggest first? He didn't ask, but what would you suggest?
We make those, don't we?
I don't know.
Yeah, we make those. So if they're not on the website, I need to put them on the website because we make some really good ones. I've only made a few sets, like to prototype them out, and we've sold a few sets to some people, but they're really good. You want proper ones, like a regular Alnico 5 rod magnet. Some of the Squire ones are like these plastic bobbins with the ceramic bottoms. The ones we make are like the legit 65 style with the claw and all that. And I consulted with a person who's really, really into Jaguars when I did them. So they're really good. So, yeah.
Super chat from Timothy Potter. Thank you for the super chat. No question or comment came through. So if you have one, we'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, man.
I needed to do that again, but I don't know how I just did it right then. So we're gonna do it. All right. Brad Guitar Miller, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. Sorry I'm late. Any more thoughts on pickup class?
Oh, doing another one. Yes. But we have a stretch right now going through what did you call them? The burr months, where we do not have a moment to spare between making all of your pickups that you order, which we took the 4-week thing off the website. So we are back down to our normal 2-ish weeks or so backup time. But in order to stay there, we are being very careful about how much stuff we take on outside of just making pickups. Because we have 2 workshops to do in Colorado this fall. We have one in this month, and we have one in November. The one in November is sold out. And then we have a couple of other work-related things. I have to work in Nashville. You have to work in Nashville. I actually talked to my Nashville dude about that today. I forgot to tell you that. And we have a bunch of things all the way through the end of the year. So it's going to be I would say it's going to be a mid to late 2023 thing if we do it before we even get that far. And a lot of it's going to depend on what this whole thing that happens in Colorado, because we're kind of still growing through that. And I want to make sure that we can get it right and have it really be good. Before we add to it, I want to get it really dialed before we add some more. So I think it's going to be the end of 2023 before that happens.
All right. I don't know if this is what Timothy wanted to share with us, but this is the first comment after his super chat. Thanks again. If you didn't hear us say thank you. He says, oh my gosh, I've caught you again. My clinic closes late on Thursday. I love your channel because you have the science behind what you say and do. Physics and electrons rule.
They do. They're pretty cool. Thank you, Timothy Potter.
Robert Buffalo, what do you think of Doyle coil pickups? That's hard to say.
I don't know what those are.
Doyle coil.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what those are.
Angel Raven 444. Hey Dylan, what's the weirdest thing you found when opening up a pickguard?
Ooh.
Just
Skittles.
No, but you put them there.
I
That doesn't count.
know.
Everybody thinks the fence post was so much better. I still think the Skittles was pretty sweet.
Well, the Skittles guitar never really got the play that it deserved. I feel like if we did some of those things now,
you should put it in like a
where our channel is, it would do so much
memory
better.
compilation video or something.
Oh, maybe. The weirdest thing I've ever found in I mean, not really, just besides grossness. People's guitars are gross. That's why I don't work on used guitars anymore. I got tired of smelling up the car, getting them. I mean, you pick up somebody's guitar to like put pickups in it, and you'd open up the case, and your whole shop would smell like weed, or whatever,
or cigarettes,
and I don't know. I kind of got tired of doing it, so we just don't work on people's guitars anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing inside a guitar though.
Tetanus, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've thought I've had to get tetanus shot many times.
Freddie T. Dylan, is there a cheaper alternative to a Seymour Duncan JB?
There's better. We make a better alternative, but it's not cheaper. I don't know. I mean, our center punch pickup is way better than a JB, but it's also not cheaper though. So I don't know.
Cecil Music. Another good myth is that on a bolt-on, a super tight neck joint improves tone and sustain.
Oh my gosh, I know that one drives me nuts too.
And then Cecil also said, Dylan, was the backbone one of the most gimmicky products you tried?
Single-handedly, probably the most gimmicky. Do you remember that thing?
Yeah. I thought it was fine.
Probably the most gimmicky thing. Yep. I think so. I don't know. Has there been anything weirder than that?
I mean, not from a gimmicky scale. Like, there's been worse things.
Like what? Well, the Kolos guitar with the plastic neck that was supposed to be carbon fiber. That was terrible.
The guitar you ran over. That was terrible.
The acoustic guitar.
And the one we did the underwater. Yeah,
so I just posted on my Instagram like a couple weeks ago where I ran over a $69 acoustic guitar with my truck. It was a Glary. That guitar, speaking of things that you found in a case, that guitar smelled so badly. Mm-hmm. Brand new.
Couldn't bring it in the house.
Of formaldehyde. I know what formaldehyde smells like. I know what it smells like. That guitar reeked of formaldehyde so bad that you could not bring it in the house. It smelled up the entire garage because we had a 2-car garage at that time. I left it out there in the box. I could not bring it in the house. The strings were rusty, brand new, and the neck was broken. And I told them I could not review this guitar because it was not playable. They sent me another one. And so the second one was playable. That's the one we jumped in the swimming pool with. The first one was not playable, and that's the one that we ran over with the truck. But they both reeked of formaldehyde so bad that I would not... People ask me, why didn't you give that to a kid, whatever? Because your kid would get brain damage from that. I mean, I would not... No way, man.
No way, man.
So that's a crazy, weird story, I guess. Sort of answering those questions. Closest I could, I guess.
Black Hat Music. Cream color pickguard on Strat sound best. Organic. Brian Tershman. Wide range humbuckers. I honestly don't care about the originals at this point. Way overhyped and overpriced. But are the rewinds really anything special? Or are they just brighter humbuckers?
They are not that... I'll tell you exactly what they are. There are DAFs, but in the wide range package, so it fits in your guitar. But we're not doing them anymore because it's September. and we're out. Wide range season is over, and I took it off the website today. However, I will be coming out with a new video very soon about a revision to our Slant 6 humbucker to make it even more cool. That is kind of my wide range take. And so that fits in a regular humbucker slot, and that video is coming soon.
Okay, we have 14 more things and 10 minutes.
Okay.
Cecil Music. Steve Vai has some very funny terms when describing things. When he was having a new pickup developed by DiMarzio, he told them, "I want it to sound like a thundering cloud of ice cream."
Yeah, that's weird.
Kevin78, what's the toughest guitar rattle you've had to track down?
You will hear about it in tomorrow's video.
Ooh. I was going to say sand in your acoustic.
Oh, sand in my acoustic. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, you will hear about it tomorrow. It was, that video comes out tomorrow at noon. Because it drove me nuts for hours.
Rusty, have you ever used 2 different types of magnets on a single humbucker, like the Fender V-Mod pickups?
So on a humbucker, you only have one magnet in there. So you can't really use 2 different kinds. On a V-Mod, so like on a, but on a, like a single coil pickup, yeah, we've done like split Alnico, like 4 and 2 of Alnico 5 and Alnico 2 or something like that. We have done that stuff before.
ODB Rockhound. Dylan, have you ever seen a Strat pickup with just 6 pole pieces and 2 bar magnets, no windings? I have a late 70s no-name copy with them. The body is the ultimate tone wood OSB.
That wouldn't work if there was no windings. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Charles Wallace says the weight on the headstock to increase mass.
Yeah, that's also a pretty gimmicky thing. Though that was the same video though. Yeah, that was pretty gimmicky.
Ran Zur. Hey both. Greetings from sweltering Israel. I have a coworker in Israel right now. I have a Backlund rocker box with 3 humbuckers, all chrome covers without pole pieces at all, fully smooth. Any effect on sound? Do you make such covered pickups?
We can, and I have thought about doing it with some of our higher gain stuff because people like that look in those higher gain things. If you do it right and you design around it, it doesn't matter. But if you just put those covers on any pickup that you already have, it will probably make a difference.
Spicy boy. Would the AirTag mess with the pickups? Maybe give some hum?
No.
Mark Bauer. Hey man, new to your page but love it. What humbucker do you recommend to get harmonics while distorted all over the neck?
It depends how much gain you use. So if you don't use very much gain, our DAFs are fantastic for like your vintagey kind of, PAF kind of tone. And then we make our center punch, which is probably the next gainier. And then our Super 8 is the bomb. If you want harmonics just everywhere, that Super 8 is so good. And there's probably some people in the comments that already have them. We just came out with them earlier this year, and they're really, really good, man.
New gun guy, Dylan talks tone. When I saw Kirk Hammett go from EMG loaded guitars to Greenie with PAFs and sounding pretty much the same, I relaxed with the pickup thing.
That's for real, though. That is for real.
Robert R. My pickups won't let my high E make a sound. It's totally silent. What gives?
E? If it's a single coil, the magnet probably doesn't have any charge in it. And I have seen humbuckers and P90s with dead zones of magnet that have caused that. Actually happened to me once with one of mine. was not properly magnetized, or I didn't realize it. And I didn't realize it until I put it all the way together.
Schlep. Hi, Dylan. I use Fender 59s with a Duncan SSL1 in the bridge of my Strat. What tonal differences exist between your classic Strat set and my setup? Share your thoughts on tone.
I would say the classic fives wouldn't be that much different. They would be a little lower output. I can't remember what magnets are in an SSL1. Honestly, those two things are going to be just different flavors, really. We go with super, think clean John Mayer, I guess, with those pickups. Tin Pan Alley, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Dirty Pool kind of stuff. Think that with those pickups.
Shiznit. Do you think a new pickup type will be developed, or do you think there is no need to innovate any further?
I think that anybody that comes up with a new pickup idea that actually works should do it. Will it sell? Yes. As old people die and young people come up, it will sell. Fishman Fluences are the perfect example of that. Those are really cool pickups, super cool technology. I think they're amazing. Vintagey folks don't think they're amazing. They're really, really cool though, and that's a cool technology. That's a perfect example. Will there be something else? There's Optical is out there, and I've met those guys. Those guys are pretty cool with actually using light. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, there is stuff coming. It's going to be whether guitar players accept it or not is what, if it's going to do good. And I think they will as time marches forward.
Mark Effects. How different are each pickup manufacturer's PAF from each other, or are they pretty much the same?
There's all kinds of ways to do the same thing. Ours is pretty different because of the materials we use, but to get to the same thing, but it's Ford, Chevy, Dodge, and you're getting the same thing, you know.
Eddie Quinones, Dylan and Leslie. Josh from JHS did a nice video about full tone's place in history and the state of the industry to tie into marketing. Josh credits Mike Fuller for popularizing true bypass.
I have not watched that video yet. I did see it, and I intend to watch it because Josh always has a really good, pretty firm grasp on. I mean, he's the man, right? Like Josh is the man when it comes to that pedal stuff. As far as understanding where we are in the business and all that, I think I agree.
Mr. D20 just bought baby chickens. What pickups won't bother their sensitive ears? They are in the room next to my amp. Please read with maximum sarcasm.
Oh my gosh. Which pickups will not bother baby chickens?
I thought the point of playing guitar was to get chicks, but he's already got chicks.
He's already got them. I would say any pickups will work. I mean, if you don't plug it in, then you could use pretty much any pickup you wanted.
Flexibility.
Yeah, that'd be super versatile. Super versatile. As long as you don't plug it in.
All right, we're going to go backwards and then catch back up. Nathaniel, Alicia, are Thornbuckers any good?
Many people like them. They are my least favorite humbucker of all time. I don't like how dark they are. And a lot of people really like that, like, lack of high end. And he makes them sound amazing, Pete Thorne does. I'm never a fan. I feel like they get lost in the mix of music when I see guitars with them. I can immediately walk into a venue and hear those pickups, and I'm just like, oh. because I can't hear them because they get lost in the mix. I don't know. They're not my favorite, but a lot of people really like them. And what I would suggest, if you're curious about them, is, this sounds stupid to say, but go watch videos of people that really like them. And the reason I say that is because they will put the time and have put the time into getting the best out of them, understanding how to use them with their rig and that kind of stuff. And I just have never gone that deep on them because I'm just not a fan. So I might not be the right person to answer that question. I would not discourage you from getting them.
So back to the chick guy. He said, y'all rock. And other people said humbuckers or cluckenbuckers.
Oh my God. It's so funny.
All right. Super chat from Thomas Torville. Thank you for the super chat. He says, has Jason Master come in yet?
Oh, the Jazzmaster. That's what he's meant to say. I bet he has a spell check.
Jason Master. Is
Yes.
that a person?
It's right there, and it's gorgeous. You can't see it on camera right now, but it's Olympic white and with gold hardware and a gold pickguard.
Where can you see it?
I can grab it, right?
I can get it. You want me to get it?
Yeah.
It might be easier.
Oh, because you're already facing that direction. Or you can spin.
Except you have... Just kidding. Took a light down. Oh, I have to hold it too?
Sure. It's there.
It's very glary.
Yeah.
There we go.
That is sick. Here, we'll get the super chat out of the way so everybody can see it. Yeah, it's super, super sick.
It's very pretty. To have gold in it, for sure.
Yep. I'm not usually a gold fan.
I don't know why these... I mean, it looks more brassy to me. The color.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember things being this brassy looking.
Yeah, less expensive stuff does end up looking that way, too.
I like it, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We're going to do a video. Squire 40th anniversary plate.
Oh, I can't see it because it's too glary.
Yeah. It's cool, though. That guitar has a skunk stripe, and the Strat, because we have the 40th anniversary Strat over there, it does not have a skunk stripe, which is sort of weird. And it's almost the same neck. So I don't know. I played this for a while yesterday, and it's pretty good. It's getting new pickups next week.
Awesome. It's not going to live there. I don't know where to pop it up. There it goes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, super cool.
Bonus footage.
Yep.
I guess we're going to keep going.
Yeah, seems like we have a lot of stuff.
I still have things to catch here. All right. Real Jester. I bought an Epiphone SG that had puke and beer in the pickups. It sucks cleaning that up.
Oh, jeez. No. Mm-mm.
Brian F. Many years ago, I told my high school class that my early 90s Mexican Strat had been through everything. I was asked, has it been through a hippo's ass? I said, I don't know. I bought it used.
Oh, my God.
Woo. Mark Hot. What makes a 59 pickup tone sound good? How do the reissues sound like the originals?
I think the reissues sound better than the originals. There's a whole bunch of myths based around that whole deal, and they're just pickups. They're just... Because here's the thing. Seth Lover's like, oh, this P90 has 10,000 winds on it, and it makes a lot of hum. Let's put 5,000 winds on one side, 5,000 winds on the other, and a magnet underneath. There was no real... I mean, it wasn't like a... When everything was new, there was no reason except for to just do it. And now everybody thinks that there's a reason to copy that thing because it's the first thing. In actuality, it was just a thing. There was nothing really special about it, you know? I don't know. It's just humbuckers. I'm pretty irreverent about that stuff, but...
Super chat from Brian F. Thank you for the super chat. He says, send in a super chat because please read my comments above. So I had to scroll back to see it, but I had actually already grabbed it. So, what?
No, go ahead.
You did what?
I thought Brian F. was the one talking about the...
No.
59. Oh, okay.
Brian F. says, if I buy a brand new JB, will it sound the same as my first one I bought in 1996?
That would be an interesting experiment. And I would say probably close, but I bet it doesn't sound exactly the same. That's very interesting. I've never done that. But I've never owned a guitar long enough to do that.
I mean, when is your guitar from? I guess there's not a new version of your guitar.
No, there isn't. My red Strat. Mm-mm.
All right, we're going to call it 9:05 unless you send a super chat. I'm not grabbing anymore, but
Okay.
I have you up until now. New gun guy. As far as you know, did Gibson ever tweak their pickups to match their different guitars back in the day?
So, a lot less than Fender has, but I believe they have, yes. And I know that they do now. My friend actually works in their R&D department.
Okay, I lied. I have to read Chuck Chavez's comment. He said, I bet that barfed guitar had really chunky pickups.
Oh my God.
Larry Lane, what do you think about gold foil pickups?
I think they're amazing, and if you want some, Tim McNally at McNally's Pickups makes some awesome ones, and I have used them, and they're very good.
SF Dylan, why do some Strat single coils have less 60 cycle hum than others? Is it the EQ of the pickups, i.e. the voicing of the coil, that eliminates the hum? Not talking about shielding in guitars.
I think it is how they're wound, because our pickups are not super noisy, and I have some theories about that. And actually, I was explaining that to Bryson yesterday when he was winding his first set of Strat pickups, and I was showing him what we do here to make sure that I believe it makes us a quieter single coil. And I'm not going to tell you what we do, but there is a thing, and I think it does matter.
IBJI says, off topic, House of Dragon, thoughts so far? I don't know if that's a show or what that is.
House of Dragon.
But
I don't know what that is.
Help him out if y'all have thoughts so far, because that's what he asked. Mark Effects, I want versatility in my humbuckers. What do you recommend for a PRS SE Custom 24 humbucker replacements?
Center punches. We have our Dylan Toxtone center punch, and they coil split with no volume drop. They have a really good single coil sound when you split them, and they have a really nice kind of Angus Youngy sort of sound in the bridge pickup, but in the neck pickup, they're really kind of clean, and you would like them a lot.
KDAKAN, I have no idea what that says. Which hum canceling or noiseless pickup do you recommend for a telly that sounds similar to the classic single coil telly pickups?
I do not believe that that is possible. I think that statement is a oxymoron. I do not like stacked single coil pickups, and I never recommend them. I just don't like them.
Apparently that show is a Game of Thrones prequel. That's probably why I know nothing.
Yeah, I'm not.
Ala Dolphin, just watching discussion of PAFs on the Stringjoy channel. They said pickups in the early humbuckers were wound inconsistently. Billy Gibbons LP used for, I think, Pearly Gates. Who did you use for DAFs?
I used a... it was a mid-60s, early 60s SG for mine. So the inconsistency thing is because they just filled up the bobbins until they were full, and it wasn't until later that people figured out that they were kind of inconsistent. And so there's this whole myth based around, well, this bobbin had 300 more winds on it than this, and that's why it has this magical whatever. And it wasn't planned. It was just a random thing that happened that people thought made it special. But if you look at all those pickups, none of them are actually exactly the same anyway.
Cecil Music, do Jazzmaster trims work well? I've never played one.
If they're set up properly. This one is not.
Yet.
But it will be. Yeah, one of the saddles is backwards. The E and the B string is too close together because one of the saddles is backwards. So weird. I'll fix it. Everything will be fine when it's ready to go. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
And that was it, except we got a super chat from Sassy Cat. Thank you for the super chat. Why doesn't rear view mirror adhesive last?
I think it does, unless you get your windshield replaced. And I think aftermarket rear view mirror glue is not the same as OEM rear view mirror glue. I totally believe that. I ran a collision shop for some years, and we replaced a lot of windshields. And I will say that there is no good aftermarket rear view mirror.
I've never had one not stay on.
Yeah, they fall off.
Really?
Once you replace the windshield,
I've replaced many a windshield.
Yeah, like our car doesn't have the same kind. They don't do it the same way anymore because like ours has a camera in it and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Like our Tundra had, like, for probably the last 5 or 6 years, our cars have had like these sensors and stuff in them.
I've been driving for longer than 5 or 6 years.
Well, I know,
just saying.
I know what he's saying though. Like in the 80s, especially, like you get an Oldsmobile Delta 88 from like 1983, and the little thing wouldn't come off the windshield, but then once you replace the windshield, it would fall off in like 6 months.
I don't know. All right.
That's a great question to end on. Fully on topic.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a super chat.
Yep.
Free reign, man.
Thanks, Sassy Cat, for the super chat.
It's like super chats equal ask me anything.
Kind of, yeah.
Whatever's on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Send it our way.
Yep. It's like therapy.
We're over time.
We should start a thing. I wouldn't call it BetterHelp.
No, you can't. It's already taken.
Right. So it would be like mediocre advice. Mediocreadvice.com. The only way.
I mean, isn't that what Dear Abby was for years?
Yeah. What's the lady on the late night radio?
Delilah?
Yeah. Why don't we just be that?
We can't be Delilah. It's Delilah.
I know, but that's not my name. So my name is Dylan. But we could do that. That's not my name. But we could do that.
You can have that. That's not my name.
That's not my name.com. We do that, and then people could just. The only way you get real
love to do an advice column. Only if I could give like not really
satirical
helpful
advice,
sarcastic comments.
All right. Well, for those of you that watch our show regularly, know that starting next week, we're going to do a thing where if you send in a super chat, you can ask for any advice that you want. It does not have to be guitar related, but it has to be a super chat because we're going to have to dig deep for some of those answers.
I don't think you should do it during your live stream.
I think we should.
I think it might distract from the purpose of Q&A.
The purpose of this whole thing is for us to just hang out with everybody.
We'll see if they bring it, because if they don't bring it, they'll be like,
That's true. Thinly veiled in a guitar backbone conversation. People, so the thing is that I know that there are people that are like, the only reason I follow this YouTube channel is because I want perfectly accurate and super nerdy guitar stuff, and if you talk about anything else, I think that's dumb and I'm never going to watch your channel again. I'm like...
Until the next time you make a video that...
Bye! Because I do this because it's fun, and I do it because I want to know as many... Do
you have a video at noon tomorrow?
We do.
What's it about?
It is about... the 40th, it is about the most expensive Squier Stratocaster ever made, and is it worth it?
I don't know.
Spoiler alert, yes. But that video tells you why. And we take it all apart. We do the same thing that we did with the PRS, where we took it all apart and showed in the neck pocket and all that stuff. It was a pretty awesome video. My video editor, Mike, was like, you do know that this is longer than normal. And I'm like, yeah, but it has to be because we're going deep.
Was he trying to cut it or something?
He did cut a lot of it, but it came out great. So
cool.
Maybe I said some stuff twice, which I have a
believable.
Which I have a tendency.
Believable.
Yeah, exactly. We will see you tomorrow in our video about that, and then we will see you again in a video on Monday.
I can't believe you're all still here. Thank y'all. Have a good night.